And in economy, shares in car maker Renault suffered a meltdown on the Paris Stock Exchange today after unions reported raids on the company, possibly to investigate emissions foul play. Danny Swibel reports.
Shares in French car manufacturer Renault fell 22% after police raided several of its factories. Investors are fearful that the company is being investigated for cheating exhaust emission tests, a practice their German rival Volkswagen admitted to doing in September of last year. The company confirmed the raids by France's Competition, Consumption and Anti-Fraud Authority and has fully cooperated with the probe, but stressed the tests have shown no evidence of devices designed to alter emission tests. But if the investigation proves damning, Renault may follow the path of Volkswagen and be forced to recall and inspect 8.5 million cars in Europe, including 2.4 million in Germany, 1.2 million in the UK, and 500,000 in the US. Stock shares of Renault have since recouped some of their earlier losses, down around 9% in the afternoon, trading on the Paris bourse, valuing the company at a little more than 21 billion euros.
Yes, and we're staying with economy. I'm joined now in the studio by financial analyst Lionel Friedfeld. Lionel, good evening.
Good evening, Ayman.
Well, we're moving away from France to Japan. It's the new financial saga of the moment. What is the latest in the Japanese crisis?
Actually, it was a tough day for financial markets today, including for Japan. The Nikkei 225, so the index of the largest 225 companies in Japan, went down 2.7%, but till the beginning of the year, it almost down 10%. So basically, Japan is following global trends. In Europe, France, Germany were almost 3% down. In the US, the Nasdaq was 3.4% down, the Dow 2% down. So basically, investors are really worried for two main things. The first thing is that the full price of oil went down up to $30 a barrel, and it's the first time since 2004. And basically, because you've got overcapacity in the oil market, and because they also fear that Iran will come back on the market and sell oil on the market. And the second point that actually investors are very worried about is China. The growth in China is slowing down. And if you put together the oil story with the Chinese story, you understand why all stock markets, including Japanese stock market, are going down.
So you would say the Japanese crisis now is related to the Chinese one, which we saw last week?
It is a core component of the crisis or the slowdown of the growth in China. But take a blue stock like Sony today lost 4.5% in Tokyo.
And let's talk more about oil, which you touched on in the first part. Should global markets be worried with this trend?
I think global markets is worried, and that's what also you see stock market, and you spoke before about Renault that lost 10% today. The competitor Peugeot, for French manufacturer, lost also 10%. Volkswagen is also losing a lot of ground because oil price is going down, and it is not a good sign for the recovery or general recovery, and also for the automotive industry. But the worrying thing is that with the oil price so low, $30 barrel, if you remember a year ago it was $100, nobody sees that there will be a global recovery in the economy.
And would you say, Lionel, that it would take Japan a while to recover from this, or is this a crisis that will blow over quickly?
I think Japan is mostly driven today, like global economy, Europe and the US, by China. So it will highly depend on China. This is first of all. But also Japan is very specific and is driven by innovation. So we'll see how Japan will react towards, like Israel or the US coming into the innovation field.
Lionel Friedfeld, always making it clear for us in the financial markets. Thank you very much for that.